Over the last couple of weeks, a lot of the stuff I've been talking about, I thought about reshooting videos because there's been some big shakeups with how you should get started, how the NPCs get in the game, and basically how you to save up your money, spend it, and where to go from that. But we're going to spend some time talking about those changes, some new approaches if you're starting a brand new playthrough or a new player you could go through. And plus, we're going to be looking at the NPCs that are available so you can make the best investment decisions based on what's available. But let's go ahead and get started. And don't forget, you can find me on Twitter and Twitch. And also don't forget to share, like, subscribe. Here we go. So there's a couple of things that you can do to get rolling in the game. And maybe shifting the focus from getting the gold exchange, cash infusion kind of style of play going may not be the best one unless you're really hell-bent on running around and getting money from bandits and taking their gold bars and converting into cash. Otherwise, you could just kind of focus on building your homestead, you know, spend a little more time, get something a little better than this little shack we've got on, and just kind of let money slowly accumulate. I'm sure you'll find bad guys to fight along the way, let the money kind of roll in, and then start slowly building your empire. If you want to really shortcut and go straight for that, then kind of the setup like we have here is still not too bad a way. Just get your little resource cabin going. Ignore all that stuff because it's going to take a while for you to get. But there are a few things you can do to start generating some money once you get some cash saved up. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at some NPCs we have on our multiplayer server that we play on. And that way you can get kind of a better idea of a game plan on how you want to start generating more cash. And here we are. This is Fort Braggadocio, or whatever. I change the name every time I come here. But just a little cavalry fort I was working on for my character. But, ooh, well, I got to take care of my horses real quick. Guess we are getting a little bit of live play action today. It's been a couple days since I logged in, so it looks like I needed to spend a little... doing that weird thing. There we go. Getting things put together. Let's see, where is my bucket? Oops. There we go. But one of the nice things is I share basically a communal town with the other people that would play on the server. And therefore, we don't have to have too much duplication of effort in getting NPCs. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a ride down there and show you kind of my tactics for making money, because it is kind of a light RP server that we play on, and my guy's supposed to be a cavalry dude. And cavalry dudes don't typically, you know, spend a life prospecting. So I've tried to find other ways that can kind of make sense for his character. And so I've kind of been passively working on this, okay, you don't have an access to a mine because you don't have $3,000 conundrum this entire time. But let's go ahead and head on down there to Lake Town. Well, here we are down in Lake Town area. And basically we're going to take a look at getting some NPCs set up. We've got a pretty good panoply of options here with most of the big ones. There's a couple of NPCs that you can make money off of. So things like the general store, the bank teller, not so much. You know, they provide services. The barber, definitely not. Bartender, get out. But it's going to be down to the gun store clerk, which still costs $6,000. The horse breeder, which is $5,000. Taxidermist, which is $4,000. The tailor, which is $4,000, and of course the gold vendor, which is pretty much still your number one buy to start converting, you know, the gold bars into cash. The one I use the most is probably the tailor. That's still $4,000 though. You could get 2 tier 1 mines going for that. So if you're bound and determined to start making cash single player wise, that's still your best option. You will need to spend some time, and I've got some video that's coming up that will show some of the vendors that sell the contracts that you need for that. But if for some reason you just can't find like the prospectors for the contracts, well, tailoring's actually not a bad way, and it's one of the things my character does to make some cash. Basically what we do is I'll collect a bunch of rawhide, Let's see if I have any with me. This would be great if I did. Okay, so I got some. And then I'll craft boots. Don't do the actual full leather boots from the tailoring bench. Just do these rawhide. Because guess what? They all sell for the same. And for, 5 pieces of rawhide, you basically get $10 out of it. Let's control-click to close that. We'll just grab these, and I'll show you what you mean. So if you're on a multiplayer server or have access to these guys already through previous playthrough, then you can actually go up there, sell those guys. You got $10. Not too bad. And the rawhide goes pretty quick. You can get spawns of like the buffalo. They've got lots of bullets and things like that. It actually does a pretty good amount of money. Another thing you can do, so I ran into some bandits on the way down. This is slow, but it's steady income. You got these guns here, so $6.75. The rifles definitely sell more, so if you can find some of like the TNT bandits or whatever, they can sometimes drop. Also the ghost gang. Boop. But hey, couple bucks here and there. I don't have a whole lot of money because I spent a lot of money. I've got a new building project I'm doing. I was just being lazy and I went and bought a bunch of iron, which is another one of the great things you can do. Let's check with old Clarence here. See, I got a little bit of money in the bank, not much. I've been using my money basically as quick as I can get it. But guys like here, like, okay, it's nice that he sells, rum and whiskey. You don't really need it. The prices are pretty crazy. So getting up that initial investment money to be able to start placing NPCs, yeah, you really might want to think about jumping onto a multiplayer. Whether there's lots of private communities, we absolutely run one. If that's something you're interested in, check out my Twitch stream sometime. You can get the information for joining and playing with us. But like being able to buy iron bars is fantastic, and also you can use his furnace to break down. Well, I wish I had a gun now to do that. I wonder if I can throw in something else. Oh, no, I got some more guns here. Here we go. So if you didn't know you could do this, you can see the condition is degrading as it sits in the furnace. And at the end of it, oh, that clanging hammer. Boom. Hey, that's actually pretty nice, getting the planks. I'm, like I said, I've got a new building project, so lots of iron bars, lots of planks needed. So if you got extra guns and you don't care about the $6 or whatever that you get out of them, that's fine. I've also talked about before selling animals to the horse NPC guy. We've got Jesus' stables over here that we have set up. But donkeys, they can go for 200. Found out that Mustangs can actually sell for 100. I didn't know that. I just kind of happened across that while I was playing. And then, of course, the quarter horses go for 50. So you can round up. I think I had about a dozen at one point. That I probably lost about 6 of them along the way there. Holy cow. They will just jam up on each other. And the pathing isn't the best on that. But these are all different avenues you can take to start making money, or ignore that, just get into the building. We're going to be adding a railroad that's going to be connecting, because this is one of the smaller town areas. It's just got a lot of the NPCs that we use the most, and people have kind of spread out along the lake. One thing we did find, and I think I've talked about it before, is you don't want to have too much building in one area. The game just isn't optimized for it, and we basically had to abandon our big town that we had spent a lot of time building up, well, mostly Tom Griss, and ended up having to destroy it because it was just causing such bad lag anytime we ran into town. But anyway, so let's take a look at some of the NPCs you can run across that have some very interesting items, and you just got to keep your eyes peeled while you're riding around the range. So one thing we've learned is that the NPCs kind of spawn in a general area. So if you've seen one in an area before, you'll see them again, and sometimes they'll change which ones come up. So right now I'm here around Catskull Lake, as we call it, and there's definitely a couple of guys that spawn at different points along the lake. So this isn't a bad place to try if you're looking to find these guys. I was just riding back to the fort and happened to come across this feller. But not the most useful, except for one thing. So we got apple tree seeds, hemp seeds, red apple, the bull skull, $1,500. Good lord. and then some whiskey for 80 bucks. Well, I guess if it's his last bottle, you know, you won't part for it cheap. But getting the bunt line here for $5.25 is a fantastic investment. If you don't have a really good weapon already, finding this guy to get access to the bunt line. So $525 might seem like a lot, but it's what I use in just most of my day-to-day stuff. I've got this Treeby. I definitely don't recommend getting that. It's got problems. But the bunt line is fantastic, and getting access to it without having to go and buy a gun merchant for the 6,000 is a really great access to an end, you know, a top tier weapon for you to use. So keep an eye out for this guy. He's got the little arrows flying off of his bag. You might think he's the Prospector. You're like, yes, finally I can go get my gold mine. But no. But anyway, so yeah, keep an eye out for these guys. You've seen the guy with the big wagon, the snake oil salesman. They have a lot more of these guys. There's another guy with a little apron. There's the cookie guy who wants to sell you, you know, campfires for $150. But yeah, the Prospector is probably the one you want to keep an eye on for the most. Well, here he is, folks. Man of the hour. It's the Prospector guy. So you can see he's got the mineshaft there, the tier 1, $2,000. And yeah, the tier 2, $3,000. And you can actually get this gold pickaxe. It's actually pretty legit. So $500, and you pull more ore out of the ground. But this is again where I found him, with same spot as the other one. So keep an eye out. Well, here's Cookie I was talking about. Found him down on the east side of the lake, basically completely opposite where I found the other guy. But you see we got some raw meat there, cooked meat. It's all very expensive. Campfires, oh man. You can get some milk here too, and yeah, he's available. Mostly the only thing you'd probably be interested in is the coffee beans, if you haven't been able to get to those, or the coffee grinder. But you can get a chicken coop, some frying pans. Again, it's all very expensive. Hopefully there'll be kind of a pass on these to balance out the prices, because you can make a lot of this stuff very easily. But he's here. If only he bought stuff, it might be a little bit more interesting. But anyways, that's pretty much it for today. I just wanted to talk about the changes and some of the different ways you're going to have to go about getting money for the game. If you guys have any questions or stuff you'd like to see covered, or just want to see some interesting build projects, definitely let me know. Leave a comment below. But otherwise, thanks for watching, and hopefully see you again real soon, Cowboy.